Hi, everyone. This is Dee from Syncro. Our session will go live in just a few minutes. I want to give folks some time to come in and get settled in. So just give us a minute or two and we'll get started. All right. It's just about 1 minute after. I'm going to give folks just another minute or two. I hate to get started too early and have people miss all the good stuff. So if you'll be patient with us and give folks another minute, and then we'll get rolling. Thanks. Yeah, great call out from someone in the chat. If you have anyone else from your team that you think would like to hop in here, I just reposted the link to the Zoom right in the chat. So no need to register or anything. They can just click on the link and they can come on in and join us. With that, it's a couple minutes after 3. So I feel like we should probably get started. We have quite a few people here, and I'm pretty excited to get this rolling. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dee Zeff, and I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Syncro. Just want to welcome you to our first brand new series, the Syncro Power Hour. And we created Power Hour to really just give you all direct access to Syncro experts, right? The people that are building or testing, using Syncro every day. We're going to have some partners join us along the way and present and talk. We want to make sure you're getting real value from these sessions and from the platform. So we're going to make sure you walk away from this and every single session with tips you can go and use immediately. Every time we're going to focus on practical things, best practices, real workflows, and we'll wrap up every session. We're going to have a Q&A so you can get your questions answered live. I would ask that you use the Q&A module if you're going to ask questions because it's really hard to wrangle questions out of the chat. And so it'll make it so much easier if you can use the Q&A module. Today's session is a fun one. The topic is 10 things I wish I knew when I started. And to guide us through it, we have Daniel Hedges. Daniel is our senior sales engineer. He's a longtime Syncro Power user. Many of you might know him. He's helped hundreds of our partners and has a wealth of knowledge to share with all of you. And so before I hand it over to Daniel, a couple housekeeping tips. We are recording, so we'll make sure we get the recording posted. We're going to post it in the community forum after this, and we'll talk more about this later, but we're also going to have some goodies for you all in the community forum if you want to go over there, some additional tips, and we'll continue the conversation over there. And then once again, if you could please use the Q&A module for any of your questions, we'd really appreciate it. And so with that, and no further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Daniel to take it away.
Hello, everyone. Always the exciting part of the presentation to attempt the screen share. I might need some assistance. There we go. It's working for me now. Hopefully everyone can see my screen now. Definitely let me know if you can't. But just to set a little bit of the agenda that we'll go through today, I will go through the 10 things that I've prepared. Take about 30 minutes. We'll do the Q&A like Dee said afterwards. There will be community posts outlining everything I talked about, so don't worry, don't have to take previous notes. But again, to get to the community, when you're logged into your Syncro account, you'll click the little bubble question mark up there, and you'll be able to access it right here with the Syncro community. So hopefully these 10 things, maybe there's one or two of them that you already know about. Hopefully there's a few more that you're like, huh, I didn't even know you could do that in Syncro, or that's going to save me a ton of clicks. But let's go ahead and get started. The first one I wanted to talk about and highlight is actually called the parts module. Now, this is completely separate and different from the main inventory module. It's really just a really quick way to be able to organize and track like one-off parts. Like you have to get a screen replacement, a new cable, an adapter. And then you get this nice little table overview. You can track everything kind of that's going on. You can also view completed ones. But some of the power actually shines when you're in a ticket. So when I go into a ticket, this Lenovo laptop is having issues. If you had previous part orders, you can see they're tied down here directly. To do a new one, real easy. I'll just come up here, click new part order. Brings me to the form to fill out. So let's say, power cable, from the store. You had to pick up a part from the store. You want to be able to track this somehow, NA1. We'll just pass the costs, pickup. Off at customer site. All right, we're going to choose the date. All right, maybe we're not quite sure. We don't want to say it's received yet, but we'll go ahead and create the part order. Now, I'm not sure it's really fast, but some of the other cool things about this is it also ties in with the notification center. So there's multiple notification sets that you can have, as well as ticket automation. So when we actually look in at the part order, you can see it actually prints to the ticket different information like, okay, yeah, the parts arrived, or hey, it's ordered. And last but not least is you come up here, this actions. And if you had multiple ones or even just one, you click part status, and it's going to build you a view or a list of just that particular ticket's order. So you can kind of keep track of these one-off parts. You won't have to clutter up your main products and services module with these one-off parts. You can just simply use the parts module. All right, next one, documentation. So hopefully you knew Syncro did have a documentation center, but maybe not how you can maybe make it a little bit more user-friendly. So this is how I built out mine. You can add in this left nav by creating a document called left-nav, and however you filled out that document will show up here. You can customize this top menu section by using the welcome page. That one should already be created for you. Pro tip on this one is to make the things, the different menus or links you want to build out more like centered, use the table. So you can like insert table. I did like a 2x3. I can justify the different things. It makes it a lot easier to format. You also have access to the HTML code as well if you wanted. For the different links, when you build them out, they can be internal or external links. If it's internal, you actually just need the ending part after syncromsp.com. You don't need the full link. Have it open in a new window. And like I said, they can also be external links. Now, some other really interesting things about the documentation is when you have a customer-specific document. So here, let's take a look at John Smith. He has 3 docs. Whenever you tag one directly to a customer on every single asset for John Smith, all his documents are automatically backlinked on them. So say there's a common issue, maybe a printer, for example. I go into the asset, all their documentation's all auto tagged here for me on every single asset. So if it's a common issue, I'm on this printer, I go, oh, yep, I know. Let's take a look at their troubleshooting doc, and you can click right into it. Here I've added in my doc screenshots, pictures, different links up here at the top, again, to easy access. And when I scroll down, you can also have documentation specific credentials saved here as well. So this is tied to the doc. Printers, I guess, is a pretty good example where you never can quite remember what the username and login to the web printer login for the admin section of the printer. So you can great place to store it here. All right, let me check my notes. Mailer module is next. So Syncro has a mailer module, and you can create one-time blast emails and or automatic emails based off different rules, like let's say a 2-week follow-up. Let's take a look at this one, where it would actually email out to your end users, based on the different things you built out here. So interestingly, you can type in a specific saved customer search, and or it would combine with an asset search to then go ahead and email out, hey, like this is a good example. Hey, your ticket was closed. Just want to make sure everything's still okay. Let us know. You can use these different tags out here. Now, a great plug for our brand new feature, the warranty tracking, right? You can now use the warranty feature and you could build a one-time blast email to email out, let's say, only your MSP or break fix customers. And you say, hey, the machines that fit the out of warranty status, like, hey, your machine's out of warranty, like, contact us now, right? And if you use Syncro's email service using the verified domain feature, you actually will get stats back about who opened, who clicked, how many of the different emails you sent out. So this is a pretty slick feature. Maybe not everyone knows about. It'll also show a history of all the different, this one only had one. I'll quickly show the other one here. But it'll show a history. Okay, yeah, here's all the people who got it as well, fitting whatever different criteria you did in the mailer. But yeah, that's the mailer. Let's move on. Same. We're sticking with the topic of email, and we're going to talk about the leads module. A great module here. So what actually this is actually your inbox for Syncro. Any email, actually every email that hits your Syncro account always creates what's called a lead. And this is going to store all your emails. A very common misconfiguration I see is people like ignore or don't use leads. And instead, they clutter up all their customer organizations and tickets by always creating a ticket in their mailbox. So let's quickly look at that setting and how you could use the leads module to reduce all this clutter. All right, so in my admin section, I'm going to move all the way down here to my mailboxes. And I think the most common use case for this is people are nervous that they might miss an email, let's say a VIP or an end user submits from their Gmail, for instance, because they forgot or can't log into their main email. And so if you don't have always create a ticket, you might be nervous that you might miss it. Well, there's a different configuration that actually will make sure you don't miss it, right? So we're going to do only for existing customers on my inbound mailbox. And what that means is if the inbound email doesn't match an end user that's already in the system and or an email rule, it's going to hang out and hold in this leads module, and you'll get a nice little red bubble notification that like, hey, you have a net new email that you need to process. So when you see that, I was like, oh, yep, I got one here. I see this particular email. I was like, oh, this is spam. I know this, or this devil like spam. You come over here, mark as spam. Next time that's forwarded into your account, it just auto hides it for you. That way, it's real easy to manage. And let's say if it was a customer, you can click process. That would tie it to that end user. Next time the email in, it's just going to automatically create the ticket for you, right? So this is a great way to organize it. If you ever do want to see like, well, what are all the emails that hit my Syncro account? You just come up here, your leads module, just kind of click all your different filters, click apply, and then you'll get the long list of all your inbound emails. If you're trying to find an old email or if you're just interested, this is definitely how you could do it. If it auto matched a particular rule and generated a ticket, you can see it flags it as the 1. If it was just marked as spam because it's the rules you created, it would just mark as lost. And definitely move the leads to one of your top modules here so you get that nice little notification bubble when you have a net new email that you need to process. All right, moving on. Next, checking my notes. Menu module, module menu selector. Okay, this one took me an embarrassing long time to actually realize, but on all Syncro's main modules, let's say tickets, for example, there's always a sub-menu selector top right. So often I'll see people trying to hunt through admin for some of these things, but like, okay, ticket automations. How do I get to ticket automations? Head to the main module that you're thinking about and then find the sub module. It's always the menu. It's always top right. So right here, here's ticket automations right under that top right menu. Real commonly, policies, same way. So how do I do a new Windows update schedule? Head policies, find the module menu selector, top right. Here it is right here. Other common ones, scripts, reoccurring invoices is another one as well in the invoice module. So you want to get to the community library. I can't remember how to do it. Head to your scripts module, top right. Here's your menu selector. Click community scripts library. And last one I will give you here is contracts. So SLAs are tied to contracts. It's top right in the contracts module. This is how you can quickly get to SLAs without having to go through the admin section. That's the module menu selector. Next on my list, the search box. All right, search box. I like this search box. Let me actually show you a workflow. It's not wrong, but it's a ton of clicks. So let's say I'm on a call, I'll be on a call with a partner. I'll say, hey, let's go to the assets for your favorite customer. And they're like, oh, okay. What they'll do is they'll click their customer organizations. We wait for that to load. They'll find the particular organization they're most interested in. They'll click into it. I don't know how many clicks that's 2 clicks. They'll click the policy assignment tab. That's 3. They'll expand out their folders, 4 or 5. They'll find the particular asset they're interested in, another click, and then they'll click view asset. This isn't wrong, it's just a ton of clicks. Alternatively, no matter where you are in the app, if you come up here to the search all things box and you start typing the name of the particular customer you're interested in, you have these little quick filter icons that pop up right beside that particular customer. So I want to get to this client's assets and computers, start typing the name, click this little monitor button, and it builds the filter for me automatically with all their assets listed out, including, which the other page did not show, any network devices or manual assets as well. Alternatively, you can also type the name right here in this top little bar, and that would also build the filter. This also works for things like tickets, invoices, estimates. So if I want to see all of John Smith tickets, I don't have to build a view or a filter. Just start typing the customer's name. Here's the little quick view, quick icon. I'll jump, and it's just going to build me the list of all their particular tickets right away. Really easy, nice little handy shortcut. And I'll give you one more here is the same kind of functionality whenever you're on a main customer organizations page is right here on the right-hand side. So tickets view all, that would just build the list view for this particular client. Same with invoices and assets as well. So this is another way you could do it rather than doing all those clicks through the policy assignment view. All right, moving on, system checks. All right, I like this one. So system checks. So let's say a great use case for this would be on any particular Windows Syncro asset, we have this systems checks tab. And what this does is you can use this to build out network connectivity checks to different online devices that are not only on your local LAN, but also externally as well. So I think the best use case here might be like looking for you could have on the server itself, you want to check connectivity to a backup NAS. All right. So if the connectivity ping check fails, well, you're going to be proactive here before the backup's even scheduled to run. You're going to get the network connectivity error. You know the backup's going to fail because for whatever reason, you can't hit the NAS. Another great use case is maybe this endpoint doesn't have SNMP, so you can't do SNMP monitoring for that online check. So this would be another great way to do it. Other things I've seen people do is they'll do like IP security cameras. They'll add a whole bunch and make sure those stay upline using the system checks. Interestingly, as well, this works with web addresses, so fully qualified domain name. So they can be like, let's say the web server check it. This is a curl check, actually, is what's happening behind the scenes. And it uses the local machine's DNS configuration. So if this local machine cannot do a DNS lookup of this particular URL, you would also get the failed notification, which is interesting. You can add a whole bunch of these. I think one time I tested like 20 or 30 of these on one particular machine, and it didn't really impact performance at all. I said system checks. Quick view icon is next. All right, this one also took me an embarrassingly long time to realize, but on all our main object types, so think assets, tickets, customers, we have this quick view icon, which will be a little magnifying glass right beside its name. All right, so when you click it, you're going to stay on whatever main page you're on, but it's going to bring you out the pop-up window of all, like for assets. You get a preview of the screen right here. Here's all your management tools right here across the top, as well as all the different data about that particular machine. Where this really shines is actually in a ticket itself. So let's actually see how that would look in a particular ticket. So when I'm in a ticket and I have tagged a relevant asset here, right? I don't want to leave the ticket, but maybe it's like, oh, I know what this issue is. I know how to fix it. I can click my quick view access icon, come over here, run a favorite script. I can then chat with the end user. Hey, we ran the fix. Check it a couple of minutes. Let me know. Here's all the access to different background remote tools. Create a new ticket if you need to. Here's all your custom data. And then right here on the left-hand side, you also have it for things like customers. So we can quick view the customer right here. have all the recent tickets. Here's the documents that we saw earlier that are auto tagged here as well. All my custom field data is right here, so I don't have to flip to a different screen for all this. I have links, URLs, data, maybe troubleshooting steps as well, all right here. And last, we'll show the ticket itself also has this ability. So on the ticket page, here's your quick view little magnifying glass. Oh, and here you go. I can jump right to the part order status that we talked about earlier. It's right here. But this gives you some, you don't have to drill into the ticket to get some of the information you might be looking for. So that's the quick view icon. And making sure I'm checking my list, I'm not missing anything. We are coming on to my last two. Now, these will take longer to go through, but I did want to give some extra time. So let's do it. So the next one is going to be the RMM policy monitors for event logs and process and services. I think people think these are harder to set up than they should be and just don't do it. So I actually wanted to walk through just really simple examples that you can either copy or just realize that actually it's really easy to build these. So event log policy would be a group of different event logs you want to be alerted on. I think the easiest one to build, we'll build it out here, is we'll do a Windows update error one, right? Give it a name. If you come over to this filter box all the way to the right-hand side, a little small, I know, just type a keyword like update. And I happen to know that here, these 6 in the middle all pertain to window update errors that potentially could have. All right, there you go. You select them all, and now you're done. And now you have a nice little monitor set that you can apply, and you'll get notified if any of these event logs fire on an endpoint. Now, often there might be a particular event log that you want that isn't in our list. So when you build out a custom query, let's expand on my fields here. The less is more here. So the least amount of information you can fill it out, the better, or to match the particular thing you're looking for. So I happen to have this one memorized. I think this is right. This is all I need. So if a user lockout is only event ID 4740, I believe that's right. This is all I would need. Don't fill out the rest of the fields, and my alert would fire. If you do want to fill out the rest of the fields, I would suggest the next one you might want to look at is source, the warning. This does have to be typed out exactly as it shows in Windows. So with the dashes and everything, this has to be, it can't be misspelled or it won't work at all. Next one, which you could do and or here, is the message. So you can actually search through the text, so keyword here, and this would, if the keyword is there, I think you can even, you can do keyword 2, and it would look for both keywords, right? And you can kind of chain or put a message. It doesn't have to be the exact message. It's going to do a contain search and maybe a username, right? So this is, I guess that would be a particular use case here if you're looking for a particular username. Well, if you just want them all, you can just have it blank. But that's how easy it is to build event log query. I would not recommend the other fields like log name, event type, and severity unless it makes sense for whatever you're looking for, because if it doesn't exactly have that particular setting, the alert won't fire. So if just try to get it with the event ID and then go for the other two as well. All right, process and service monitors is next. So we are here. So here I'm in my policy module. Let's look at our menu selector we learned about top right. I'm gonna go process and service monitors. Let's talk about process monitors first. I think an interesting use case that might be the most obvious is you can build a kind of unapproved or blocked app list of different applications you do not want running. So I think this is a pretty universal example. Screen share apps that aren't necessarily approved for your environment, customer, or users. Create a list of them here. Syncro is going to be monitoring every minute if you wanted. And the second it sees any process with the word Screen Connect, TeamViewer, Bumgar, or AnyDesk, it's going to fire an alert and it will stop the process for you if you want. This is optional, right? And then you can pipe this directly into an automated remediation to have a particular ticket created to review what happened and or notify manager or user of what happened here. Maybe other RMMs would be another good one you could throw in here, a list of different RMMs you don't want running. Some pretty interesting ways you can think about this. More traditionally, I guess people would say they would want to make sure a particular process is running. So if it's not running, let me know. So here's just a real quick, easy example of process. So any process with the word Notepad would count. So Notepad++ would also count. Right? Just keep that in mind. And don't be intimidated by the environment variable that it will show here by default. You can just clear that out and whatever. I don't even think you need the 32-bit path. I could be wrong on that. But just whatever the path directly to that exe that you want to fire, you can just copy paste it right in there and you are good to go. And then you can create the save and generate automated remediation. It will take it right into the automated remediation module. And you can configure however you would want that to work. But you wouldn't need an automated remediation to get it to like run a script to restart the process. You can just click this box and Syncro will do that for you. All right, service. So services are very similar. Where's one? Domain controller. Yep, same idea here. You can make sure monitor. These are, oh, this is the use case I want to talk about. So this example of a process monitor, but they also fire if the service isn't there. So let's say there was a particular software that you wanted to make sure was installed. Is this app installed? Because it does write to a service. I think AV is real popular here. AV service, right? So not only is Syncro going to fire if it's stopped, it's also going to fire if it's not there, right? So then you can have this pipe directly into an automated remediation to run an install script if that particular software is missing. So that's another interesting potential use case that you could use it for as well. All right, we are coming down to the very last one, which will likely be one of the more popular ones. But how can I use Syncro to have a custom form that my end user would fill out all the options for me, and then all that data is automatically collected and put into a ticket for me? Can I do this in Syncro? Yes, you can. It is a two-part process, which might not be quite as obvious to some folks, but let's walk through exactly how you would do it, and then what the end user would see, and then the end result in the ticket itself. So we're going to start in the admin section. I'm going to scroll down, and the first thing you need to build this out is you need a ticket custom field type. So ticket custom fields. So here I'm going to build a specific top-level custom field type, which would then correspond with the type of questionnaire or form I want to build out. You could use custom fields for other things too. I don't want to say this is the only thing you'd use them for, but you see I've made a couple examples of maybe access requests, a new computer deploy, new user or new hire request. I think this is quite common. And they could also be specific like application troubleshooting issues as well. But I already built this out to save some time, but let's take a quick look of what this could look like. So here's all the different fields I've just kind of come up with and decided to do. I tried to use a variety of the different ones that are available. So you could have just a free text type. You have a date field that they select, just a simple checkbox, drop-down options, text area, so this would be a much bigger block. You can also have like a scribble for a signature as well. And then alternatively, you could also have a technician-only worksheet also auto-attached to make sure the end user or the manager did correctly fill out the form. So now once you have this built out, we're going to go to the second part of the configuration, right? Which needs to be a custom widget. So back in your admin section, we're going to come down to integrations, and we're going to look at custom widgets. When you build a custom widget, they all have their own unique URL. So I've already pre-built this one here for us to save some time. But then, right, I can take this URL, put it in my system tray icon, and they'll have a quick jump straight to this form. I'm going to click edit here. Now, to correctly configure this, you need to add 3 different steps. So here they are right here. Customer detail, issue detail, confirmation. You would just find them here and click add to add them in. I definitely recommend customer detail, and let's take a look at the settings here, to require the email address. So this is for when they submit the form, the ticket's automatically generated under the appropriate customer. Otherwise, it might hang out in leads, or it would just get assigned to a blank customer. So I definitely recommend require email address so it finds the right customer. Now, next part, which is required, is issue detail. Optional, so not required, is you can have the end user choose from an issue type. They can type in a ticket subject. They can also type in like a description. But if you just want to fill out the form, you would check this box and choose the particular group of custom fields that you're interested in, which we have done here. Lastly, I want the ticket to automatically be created. So I'm going to do confirmation and then auto-generate ticket. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at what this would look like from the end user's point of view. So when they click on the URL, let's say in the system tray, they'll be prompted with, here, make sure they type their email address so the ticket's created under the appropriate customer. When they click next, then they're going to be presented with that form that you built out, and they would just simply type it out. So I'm going to do Mike, the manager, new hire, Jim, start date. Let's say, he started yesterday. That's always common. On-site required, yes. Mailbox setup required. I'll choose yes. New hardware required here. We'll choose an option that says use old equipment, use Bill's old laptop in the back. And then finally, I want the manager to sign his name for approval. So I'll do a scribble here, click next. And now he's submitted his form. So what that would look like on Syncro side is, let's jump to, I got my nice little notification here. So here's that ticket. And right here at the very top of that ticket that was submitted, here's all the different data that was captured in that particular form. Here you can see the signature, any like block with text, as well as the different options they have selected. So hopefully this is spurring some interesting ideas of how you could use this. But yeah, that's it for my prepared remarks. We can go into Q&A. And quick plug, community post. There's going to be 3 posts happen at the end of the hour. 1, you're going to get 10 more bonus content ones that we didn't talk about today. That would be its own post. I'll have a detailed walkthrough of what we just looked at, the custom form fill out. I'll give you a walkthrough step by step of that. And there'll be another one, a summary of all 10 points as well for you to review. So again, click the question mark, and then you can head over to the community button right here. Logged into Syncro. All right, I think I'm ready for questions.
Nice. Daniel, getting a lot of good chats and people kind of going, wow, there's a lot here, a lot of information. I got to say, I learned some things from you as you're going through this for sure.
Good.
I'll throw one quick question to you is close to the beginning, I think you were on your first tip, and someone asked if you could show what was in that left nav file. You kind of went over, you're like, hey, you can create a file called left nav, and then it'll put what
Oh, sure.
in your left nav. And so if you could just share the contents of that. That was one question that came up that didn't make it into the Q&A, but was in the chat.
Sure.
I just didn't want to lose it.
No problem. In your documentation module, now a very fresh Syncro doesn't have this page created. So you would just create a new page and you're going to name it just like this. I think our Doc Center, quick plug for the Doc Center, you can click this question mark. This is actually another tip I should have probably included. Any page you're on in Syncro, if you're like, what's about, I have no idea what this page is about. Find this great question mark top right. That will take you straight to all the information in the Doc Center about that particular page. But when you create this left nav, you just give it the name left-nav. And then here's how I just built it out. I just did like little icons, and you just start typing how you want it to look. And this is it. And these are all just random links I did for show. But yeah, you can have, you do have to build it out. So it's a little work on the front end. But if you spend a little effort, it can be quite useful. So this gives you the idea of how to do it. But yeah, this is it. Yeah, welcome one looks the same, which would be my top section here. I guess I did show that, right? Yeah, this would be the welcome one. Yeah, I did show this. Cool. Okay. Q&A box. The first
I think
one.
we're also going to maybe introduce
Okay.
Lindsay to the group as well. So Lindsay, maybe you
Yes.
want to grab a couple of questions while Daniel takes a breath and finds some other good ones to answer.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I'll jump in. Daniel, will you look through some of the other questions? And I'll share my screen for some of these. So the first one, Landon asked regarding the parts module. They found it really useful, but they were looking for the ability to add a receipt. And while we don't directly have a attachments section for existing parts today, you do have a couple of options. So in the event that the receipt is hosted somewhere on the web, you can certainly plug in the URL in the notes. But otherwise, if assuming that the part order is associated with the ticket, you could definitely take advantage of our tickets attachment to be able to track the receipt for the part order. But beyond that, being able to support attachments directly on parts is great feedback, and I've got that tracked. Next up, Jason was asking, I think when you were walking through, Daniel, the being able to segment organizations by break fix or MSP. The way you would go about that, Jason, is to take advantage of our customer custom fields. And so on the demo account, we don't directly have one dedicated for break fix or MSP, but just kind of going off this example with client type, you could create a new custom field type. You can make it a drop down, and just give you an idea of what that looks like. You're able to set up all of the different types of drop-down entries. And once you've created this, that's going to now be available on each of your customers to be able to toggle. You could do this manually per customer, but we also have the ability to import these in bulk. So you could export your organization list to CSV, and then make the custom field adjustments based on the client type, and then import back into the system. And once you've got that all configured, you're able to take advantage of our saved organization search, and that's going to allow you to then create a dedicated view that's going to look to, if it's a break fix organization or MSP. And so you'll be able to just kind of click on that on the fly and just get a group of just those customers for you to manage. Damon asked of they with the leads module that they get emails from third-party vendors like ThreatLocker, and they all come from the same sender address, and only the subject line contains information about the client. Any way to dynamically handle that? And that is possible. So in our if you go into your admin settings under the emails and SMS with email rules, you're able to create email rules that are considered at the point of like ingestion. So as emails enter the platform, you can specify the email address. In this case, it would be the kind of the catch-all no reply at vendorname.com. And then what you really want to take advantage of then is the subject filter. And so you could parse it based on the organization name as it's entered in your third-party platform, and then have it map to that organization as inbound requests come in.
I do have two comments about this. One, you don't have to fill out all these fields. You can literally just fill out the part of the email address, part of the subject. That's it. Like you don't feel like you have to fill out all this information. Just one field would work. Second, if that vendor email is an end user contact anywhere else in the platform, it won't hit the email rules, and it's just going to go straight to that wherever that email is saved as an end user. So make sure that like your ThreatLocker or your backup software, make sure that email address itself isn't tied to a specific end user. That way it does flow into these email rules and then parses it out correctly. Do you want to mention that?
Super helpful. Thanks, Daniel. I got one more, and I'm going to pass back to you. Tashara is asking about event log monitoring. You've got it set up in policies, and it sounds like, if I'm understanding correctly, you want to be able to make an exception for a specific event category for a specific machine server. Assuming that's the case, what I would recommend doing is you can clone your event log policy, and then you make that kind of fine-tuned adjustment. And then for those specific machines or servers, just as long as they're in like a top level policy folder with that exception assigned via the policy, then it will ensure that it still respects the rest of your event log monitoring with those exceptions. Daniel, do you want to take some?
Sure, yes. Scroll to the top. Hi, Tracy, I know you. Does this take place with the contact form, and what's the difference? So I would say the use case is just different. The agent contact form is quite powerful because it's going to autofill your end user data for them, so they don't have to type anything. They just say, oh, I have a problem, help me. When they submit the ticket, it links everything together. So the end user, the asset, the ticket, it's all like one thing together, and you can kind of really get off to the races pretty quickly. If you have particular use cases where you have to get more custom data, or I think real commonly, especially for like access requests, there's like a ton of back and forth. Like they'll say, hey, this person's starting, and you're like, okay, well, tell me all this other information that you're supposed to tell me, and you didn't. And then the email is just back and forth like a ton. And so I think in that use case, maybe it makes more sense to have like the custom widget to force select them to give you all that information up front to limit that back and forth. Hopefully that answers the question. Form display is very useful. Can it be made a template for us to use? No way to for a template, though I will give you any forms you want on the community. I'll give you examples that I have, you'll have to copy, but I have no problem sharing the examples I have for you in the community. Next one, you have 2 automation policies. Oh boy, this one's quite long. I will read it though. Hold on.
While you read it, I'll steal the next question
Okay.
under you and I'll answer it. So one question here is around everything that Daniel and Lindsay have shown. Is this available to all of the Syncro license types, so to core and to team? And I believe the only thing we talked about today that was team specific was the one very, very specific example around warranty tracking.
No.
Other than that, every other thing was available every place. And that was just one example. But that was the only thing that was related to team plan. Everything else is available to all license types that we reviewed today.
Oh boy, this answer from Michael Robinson is quite long. I would strongly recommend you email me, and I will give you a very thorough consideration on how to answer. Quickly, just like how the jobs work, it should queue up and work in order of the queue. So it will run one job in sequential order. But if you want to email me this, I will also copy this for myself to consider. I will give you a full explanation so when I can give more brain power to considering your scenario.
Yeah, and I think that's right. And just to add to it, if it does sound like it might have something to do with collision when you've got matching conditions on automated remediation that would affect the same endpoints. And we do provide the ability to continue to add actions to the same remediation rule. So if there are concerns about, state change, making it so that another automation won't run on the endpoint, I would really look to just trying to focus all of those actions that you want to make sure are taken on the endpoint in the one automation set, and you should be good.
I will say though, hopefully I'm not wrong on this, but there is an interesting way that I did post in the community a while back on how you can like build out and like, okay, I want these scripts to run in this particular order and like force set that like automation rules, like if you're doing a new setup. So that's out there, but yes, we will get back to you for sure. Don't see any more questions. No more questions, guys?
Yeah,
Anything about Syncro. It doesn't have to be anything we talked about today. I am willing to answer anything. There's something about SLAs here. Service plans such as break fix on custom fields under the customer. How do we ensure SLAs align to it? So a couple of things here. There's not really a way to take actions or make logic off the custom fields themselves, which would be really cool if we did. One cool thing that wasn't obvious or wasn't always available with the SLAs that you do build out is you can use the ticket automations to set the SLAs and to change them, which I think originally was not possible. So this was new, added throughout the years, and just the normal hourly ticket automations, you could say something like, okay, if my particular, am I sharing my screen?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. What am I doing?
I don't know, but I was
I don't know either.
I was like, all right, like I'm listening.
All right, so like when you build out a ticket automations can help force set the different SLAs you're interested in. So here I've just gone to a basic hourly ticket automation. If I say something like, hey, this particular ticket hasn't been updated in a long time, for whatever reason, that particular condition, I want to then change the SLA, right? Then I could then up it to high priority. Right? If I want to force set based off, I guess customer tags would probably be the way to do this then. If I have a customer tag that says, MSP client, right? MSP clients, whenever their ticket is, you can do, if you're on the Teams plan, you can do the created, but hourly would work fine. You can set the SLA of that ticket to basic in my case, right? So this would probably be a good way to help enforce your verticals, not only business verticals you potentially could serve, but also just like break fix versus MSP, right? And this would, using your customer tags, you can make sure their particular ticket is force set. And then like if you wanted to change this, just say run once. So this would just set it at the very beginning. Yeah, I think that works. All right. Cool.
I did see one question come in, I think through chat regarding how to make sure that ticket attachments are private. So I think this might be related to just that the receipt attachment for part orders example that I walked through. And so by default, when you add attachments to tickets, they will be private, and you can optionally after the fact toggle it to be public in the customer portal. And so that way your end users, assuming that they are accessing their tickets in the end user portal, that would be an opportunity for them to have visibility in the ticket attachment or to access them. But again, by default, they will be private, and so that should help support that internal receipt use case.
So I see another question here. POs in Syncro. Interesting question. So this probably is worth a whole like community post, but I will show you a potential kind of workflow here. A little bit longer explanation, but hopefully this will help you. So when you build out a particular estimate, let's say a new estimate, I remember my end users and customers correctly. You add in a pre-existing item that is tagged as a maintained stock. You'll need this for the PO. Then that kind of unlocks the ability to go through our procurement workflow. I'll use the example of this old Lenovo desktop. I've added it into an estimate. You can see now it's adding into my pending orders list. When I come up here to pending orders, which would be in my, I guess I could just jump to it right here, right? You can also navigate to this via the products and services module, and you click the inventory module menu selector that we learned about top right. So here's my pending orders list. I would find the particular item that I would want to make sure I can handle with a purchase order. I can select multiple if I want, or however you want to do this. And then I'm going to say add to PO, add to existing, create new. And then this is kind of the procurement workflow that you can potentially use. But in order to use like that pending orders, maintain stock, and having it nicely tied in with purchase orders, you want to, in the particular item itself, make sure you just check that maintain stock, even if you're not maintaining actual stock. But that unlocks the ability for it to kind of flow through that that kind of procurement workflow. And it probably does, to justify this, it probably does require a better walkthrough and explanation than what I can give on the fly, but hopefully that gets you pointed in the right direction. What's the AI? Randy asked, what's the AI section in the customer or ticket? I didn't notice exactly what this is. It looks like it was regarding to sentiment. Yeah, so one of the team plan features is you can have AI read in from a ticket reply sentiment analysis against the comment or the ticket itself. So yeah, and the ticket is just top left, and it would always display based off whatever the last particular ticket comment analysis was. So right here I have none because I don't have a reply into this ticket, but that would be how that particular feature works. There's also a ticket automation you could tie. Real great use case, which I already have. But join the community, folks. I post gold in there every week. I have a great walkthrough through how if a VIP submits a ticket and the comment sentiment is negative, like I want a ticket automation to happen. I have a walkthrough example for that for you already built out in the community. So hopefully that explains that. If we have a customer that wants to be notified of a device that is back online, how would you do that? Good question. This actually is a common question. I can think about it and make sure I'm not thinking about it incorrectly. In your scripts module, you're going to want to create a script. It's going to be very simple, so don't be intimidated by this. But you'll call it just back online. Here we go. So offline, back online alert, server back online alert. And all this is going to do is you're going to import the Syncro module, which is all down here for you to copy. And you just want to create an RMM alert when the particular server comes back online. So this is the very first part you would need. Next, you would build an automated remediation. And the way this would work, so the use case I used to show all the time, I forgot about it. So we'll say back online. And the condition is going to be, okay, I want all these actions to run when my trigger category is offline agent. And you can also filter it for let's say, asset OS type is all servers. You could even do specific customers if you want, even. But when this happens, I'm going to run a script that would then trigger, and I have too many, the back online. Oh boy, what did I call it? I can't find it now. A list of hundreds. We're gonna find that script that I just showed you called back online, and that's going to fire another RMM alert, and it queues up that script to run the moment it checks back in. So let me actually find that one more time. My fault for not remembering what it was called. Back online. Server back online. Starts with an S. All right. SSS server back online. Okay, so now let's think about what happens here. So in my RMM policy, I have the monitor configured fire an RMM alert when a machine's offline. Syncro sees that. All these run in real time the moment that alert fires and is initially opened in Syncro. It's going to immediately queue this particular script to be run very next on the machine the moment it checks back in. Right? So now that's hanging out there on that machine's script queue. When it comes back online, it's going to then register with Syncro. That particular RMM alert would then fire. And now we could have we can piggyback off that. And now we can have a back online. Right? What do I call it? So you choose your custom one here. Not backup. What was it called? Oh boy, failed again. What do I call it? So you can call these whatever you want, by the way. There's no rule on how you can call these. So I called my new RMM alert server online. So in my big long list, we'll find it here, server online. And now I want to then email the assigned customer. And you just fill it out here with the tags. Your name is back online. You can have the details of that particular alert. Right, and then you can have other things happen, like if you want to convert to PSA ticket, etc. Hopefully this is a pretty good walkthrough of how you would configure that today.
Very helpful, Daniel. And I would like to just call out that, this is a way to work around the fact that we don't have that native online alerting in the system today. And that's definitely something that we're tracking and is something that we'd love to be able to add to the system in time. I wanted to answer Jesse's question regarding third-party patch management. They have a need to be able to, for FileZilla, it's not something that they want to necessarily install new endpoints, but they want to be able to update if present. And they observed that the main app list, has that option, but the additional apps section does not. And so I wanted to just share an update on application patching that this is definitely on our radar. I don't believe it's on our public roadmap yet, but I'm beginning some initial research into, and this is a need that we want to be able to solve for with app patching. So that would involve a refresh of the main apps, but then also providing some more flexibility for your use case, Jesse. I'd say for now, given that we only provide the install and update option for your custom apps, you could consider in our community script library, we do have some custom PowerShell scripting around app management that you could potentially look into to see if it could help solve the FileZilla use case. But again, this is something with app patching that we are actively looking into improving.
I'm going to hop in with one more thing on roadmap before maybe we close it out with one or two more like fun technical questions. So someone did ask about ticket search and are we making improvements to ticket search? Not happy with the current results of the search. And I'm going to acknowledge this. We are not happy with the current ticket search results. I know a lot of people aren't finding things as they feel they should be able to. We are currently running a proof of concept to make sure that we can return ticket results with a high percentage of accuracy in the system with a lot of flexibility flexibility in how you're able to search. We're doing some small batch testing to make sure we get this nailed down before we re-release it. So more to come, but we are working on it and making sure that we're doing it with quality. It's taking a little more time than we hoped, but it's happening.
Oh, it says, Lindsay, do you want to answer the automated remediation with reboot?
Yeah,
I'll answer it if you want.
yeah, no, please. I feel like this might be more your wheelhouse. I'd be curious.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, there's not a native way to do this. There is some interesting things about pending reboot. It's actually like 4 or 5 different registry keys that you can actually look for. I don't know if I've ever submitted this to the community library, but you can find the reasons for it by just looking up those particular registry keys, reboot reasons. And I think there might also be some event logs you look for. So this is just a custom setup I did where it's going to look for the particular registry keys, what it correlates to, like it's rebooting for Windows updates, some kind of component, a rename, etc. You write that to a particular field, and then that could flow into your automated remediation if you wanted. I don't know if there is a event log monitor, so that'd be a little bit easier to set up. That would I think fire for update reset. I'll have to check on that though. Yeah, keep me honest, and I'll give you an answer if you either email me or at me in the community. I'll have to double check on that, but and also I'll submit this one to the library too if you think it's useful. Let me know. But that's a little bit about pending reboots. Smart ticket search. Create a custom field. Purchase order. So would we create a custom field like we did earlier for purchase order so they attached signed PO? Question from Bill about custom fields with a PO. Potentially, I will say that as you type the question, I don't think it's the feature set would directly address that particular need, though you can use custom fields and have them sign. There's also a way you could take what's called intake form, and there's signatures there that would be captured and stored within the ticket, but not directly with POs unless I'm missing something. The PO and inventory model is probably my weakest, so someone can feel free to correct me. What are practical, from Vaughn here, what are some practical applications for custom ticket workflows? I would, for a modern MSP, our feature called workflows, I would avoid. That's my comment on workflows, unless someone has a better one.
I would definitely consider seeing if it could help with streamlining some of the ticket ingestion. So if you're if you manually create tickets, say like over the phone, things like that, and you're typically, your team for ingestion is collecting very specific information, I would look to workflows to see if the way that you're able to, mark what fields are required or not, what's set in the background, et cetera. If that feels as though that might be more, robust for your team over our default ticket creation, then that could definitely be a strong use case. I'm sorry, I don't have like a very specific example, but I think that would be a good reason to consider ticket workflows over our just default new ticket creation.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if like ton of inbound phone calls and you're answering specific things, that would be a good use case. Yes. How many more minutes we
Almost
have?
out of
2
time. Do you have
minutes.
any one more you want to cherry pick, or should we have people head over to community soon to continue this?
Community soon. I see this, Josh, about setting different types of offline alerts based off business hours versus non-business hours. Not the alert itself, but when you process the alert in automated remediation, you can have different outcomes happen off that online alert based off your whatever your business hours are set. So that is a condition. So you could create one for one, does something different outside business hours or during business hours. Not different alerts, but use this condition instead. And so that was the easy one. So hopefully that helps you. And I see one more easy one from Shane. Is it possible to send SMS notifications on specific RMM alerts? Yes, automated remediation. You can create specific notification alerts for specific things. So yes, actions, send a manual SMS, and you could even use the tags and it would fill out your text message and send wherever you want that text message to go. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Drop the mic. That's
Drop the mic.
great. Daniel, thanks so much, Lindsay, and everyone who attended. Appreciate you spending time to go into this. Hopefully it was helpful, seeing from your comments that I think it was. Head on over into the community. Daniel's got some great things he's sharing over there. We'd love to hear from you, your own tricks. Our team is, of course, giving away a mug because people love a nice mug. And so hop on in there and share your own best tips and tricks for a chance to win something. And we're going to be doing these more coming up. And so we'll be asking you for suggestions on topics and all of that. So let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.